Some souls possess a rare and extraordinary resilience, an unshakable calm that endures even when life's most ruthless storms rage all around them. Imagine standing in the eye of a hurricane while chaos whips wildly about. Insults and harsh words strike like relentless hail. Carefully laid plans crumble into dust, and setbacks crash upon you like merciless waves. Yet, amidst this turmoil, these individuals remain serene, steady, untouched, as if the very tempest passes through them without a single mark left behind. What is the source of this mysterious strength, this deep-rooted equanimity that so many seek but so few seem to grasp? For most, life is an unending dance of reaction and response. A simple cutoff on a busy road ignites a spark of anger that quickly becomes a flame. A subtle, cutting remark from a colleague casts a shadow that darkens the entire day. A stranger's fleeting, indifferent glance plants a creeping doubt that gnaws away at confidence. But just imagine, what if it were possible to rise beyond these impulses? What if no spoken word, no twisting circumstance, no external force could ever breach the sanctuary of your inner calm again? Carl Jung, the pioneering psychologist and seeker of inner truth, offered a profound understanding. Most people are imprisoned, not by the external world, but by their own automatic reactions. They believe life happens to them, as if they were victims of fate's cruel design. Yet, in reality, they serve as mirrors reflecting the unresolved shadows lurking in the depths of their own psyche. The truth Jung revealed is both simple and transformative. Nothing outside of you can wound your spirit unless it finds a hidden crack within to grasp onto. When someone hurls an insult and anger ignites, it is because a quiet part of you fears there might be some truth hidden in that sting. When neglect or dismissal wounds you, it exposes a deeper yearning for validation and love that is yet to be fully embraced. This is why, when faced with the exact same challenge, two individuals can respond in profoundly different ways. The catalyst is never the external event itself. Rather, it is the unseen terrain of the inner world that shapes each unique reaction. This journey inward, the courageous process often called shadow work, is about shining light on those unconscious parts of ourselves. Every annoyance, every prick of frustration, every pang of emotional pain is a secret message from within, beckoning us to pause, to reflect, and to heal. Yet so many choose flight over confrontation. They hush the inner voice of discomfort, turn away from the shadows, or blame the outside world for the turmoil they experience. But then, there are those rare few, the awakened, who discover a radical truth. The world we perceive is but a mirror, an external reflection of our internal state. When this realization dawns, it ignites a transformative power, the power to reclaim and reshape your own reality through mastery of the inner landscape. The challenge is steep, and few are willing to face it. It feels far easier to cast blame onto a boss, an estranged lover, bad luck, or the whims of fate than to accept that the roots of suffering may lie within ourselves. To take responsibility demands we relinquish the comforting illusion of helplessness, and that leap into personal accountability is often the most daunting step of all. But for those brave enough to look inward, to pause the cycle of blame and replace it with quiet observation, an entirely new horizon of freedom opens before them. And here lies the most astonishing revelation. When you cease to react, to stop feeding the storm, you no longer become its prisoner. You no longer need to avoid difficult people, nor obsess over controlling what cannot be controlled. Instead, you transcend. You become untouchable, not through cold detachment or emotional numbness, but through a profound and serene strength born from within. This is the calm immunity, the unshakable presence that no storm, no chaos, no external force can ever disturb. Most individuals devote their entire existence to the futile pursuit of controlling what was never theirs to command. They yearn for approval from others, crave the comfort of predictability, and demand that life unfolds precisely according to their desires. And when reality refuses to comply, suffering inevitably follows. They seethe with anger when disrespected, feel deeply betrayed when their carefully laid plans unravel, and internalize every slight, as if the cosmos has singled them out for some harsh and personal trial. Yet, the profound truth lies elsewhere. In this vast, unpredictable world, there is truly only one realm where control resides, and that is within the realm of your own perception. Before we continue this journey into the subtle truths of human behavior, please take a moment to support this space of insight and reflection by subscribing to the channel. Your presence here helps us continue creating content that nurtures self-awareness, emotional clarity, and spiritual growth. Thank you. Carl Jung grasped an insight that eludes most. The external world is fundamentally neutral. It possesses no inherent kindness or cruelty, no innate good or evil. It simply exists, impartial and indifferent. What colors our experience is not the world itself, but the lens through which we view it. Consider this striking reality. Two individuals endure the very same hardship, be it a painful breakup, a financial setback, or a crushing failure. One plunges into despair, convinced all is lost, consumed by self-doubt and desolation. The other embraces the ordeal as a teacher, a crucible for growth, a gateway to unforeseen possibilities. What divides their paths is nothing more than perception. Jung once remarked, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." In other words, so long as you remain unaware of the narratives and beliefs you carry about yourself, others, and the world, you will continue to live in reaction, blindly swept along by forces you mistake for destiny, rather than recognizing the role you play in shaping your own experience. Herein lies a paradox. The more we clutch desperately to the illusion of control over the outside world, the more power we inadvertently surrender to it. The moment you demand respect from another, they hold sway over your peace of mind. When you insist that a circumstance unfold in your favor, it tightens its grip on your emotions. When you expect life to be just and fair, you pave the way for disappointment. But surrendering this illusion transforms everything. A serene freedom emerges, freedom from the endless hunger for validation, freedom from the crippling fear of failure, freedom from the exhausting struggle to bend the world to your will. Reflect on this. The truly untouchable souls, those who navigate life unshaken by turmoil, are never those who control external circumstances. Rather, they are masters of themselves. They possess a calm that weather any storm, a steadiness untouched by insult or uncertainty. They embody a deep understanding that control is but a mirage, and the moment they relinquish the chase, true power is theirs. The paradox deepens. When you cease insisting that life must unfold according to your script, it often does so more gracefully. When you release the fear of judgment, confidence blooms naturally. When you abandon frantic pursuit of success, opportunities arise effortlessly. When you stop resisting life's flow and instead move harmoniously with it, the pieces begin to fall into place with a mysterious ease. This is no mere philosophical musing. It is echoed by modern neuroscience. Cognitive psychology reveals that fixation on control breeds resistance. This is why those desperate for love repel it, why fear of failure leads to self-sabotage, and why clinging to control often results in the deepest feelings of powerlessness. So, the question remains, are you living life as a reactive puppet to external forces? Or are you the sovereign architect of your perception? Because once you awaken to the reality that nothing outside yourself wields true power over your inner world, life transforms into an entirely new and liberating game. Picture this. You're walking down a quiet street, lost in your own thoughts, when suddenly someone hurls a harsh insult your way. Maybe they call you foolish, weak, or declare you'll never succeed. Take a moment. What stirs inside you in that very instant? For most, the response is immediate and fierce. Defensiveness rises, hurt seeps in, and emotions take command before the mind can even step in. The heart pounds faster, anger flares, and the insult replays endlessly in the mind, fueling a growing fire of frustration. Now, imagine something radically different. No reaction at all. No emotional surge, no mental turmoil. Just a serene clarity that whispers, "This has nothing to do with me." This profound detachment is what the Stoics, Zen sages, and thinkers like Carl Jung recognized deep within the human experience. External events wield no true power over us unless we hand it to them. But why then do so many of us get ensnared by these moments? The answer lies in an illusion, a fragile self constructed from opinions, validation, and attachment to outcomes. When this fragile identity feels threatened, even a simple insult feels like a blow to the core. It's never just words. It's a challenge to the story we tell ourselves about who we are. Jung called this hidden realm the shadow, the reservoir of fears, insecurities, and wounds we refuse to confront. When an insult triggers pain, it's not a new wound inflicted, but an old one exposed, laid bare. Consider this. If you were truly at peace within yourself, someone's harsh words would be as inconsequential as shouting at a mountain, echoes with no response. So the real inquiry is this: why do you react? When someone labels you a failure, does it strike because deep inside, you fear it might hold truth? When disrespect stings, is it because you hunger for acknowledgement? When things derail, do you spiral because you cling to specific expectations? The challenge isn't life itself. The challenge lies in how you perceive yourself. True power doesn't arise from silencing criticism or eliminating conflict. It emerges from cultivating an unshakable mind, one that doesn't rely on external approval, one that remains steadfast in the face of obstacles, one that knows control begins and ends within perception. This is not mere philosophy. It's supported by psychology. Emotional reactivity is a neural habit, a pathway reinforced over time. The more you let the outside world dictate your feelings, the more automatic the responses become. Here's the hopeful truth. You can change this. Neuroscience reveals that through mindfulness, cognitive reframing, and embracing discomfort, you can rewire your brain. Over time, insults lose their sting, failures cease to define you, and uncertainty becomes less frightening. At that point, you become untouchable, not because the world transforms, but because you have. The mirror of reality. Human nature holds a curious paradox. We believe we react to the world, yet we are truly reacting to ourselves. Imagine someone insults you. The words strike like a dagger. But pause. Where's the pain actually felt? Not in the words themselves, but in the meaning you assign to them, in the concealed wounds they strike, in the stories your subconscious clings to. Jung expressed it clearly. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. This hard truth is what most shy away from. External forces hold no power over you unless you empower them. Think of it like a mirror. If your reflection suddenly frowned, you wouldn't scold the mirror. You'd know it's only reflecting what you show. Yet when life reflects back our inner turmoil through others' provocations, we blame the mirror rather than facing our own reflection. Why do we grant such power to the outside? Because of attachment. When your identity is intertwined with external opinions, validation, and outcomes, you become vulnerable. But what if you refused to play that game? What if you became the observer rather than the reactor? Detachment doesn't mean numbness. It means invulnerability. It means understanding that you are not your emotions, but the awareness that witnesses them. Picture a storm raging fiercely, lightning flashing, winds howling, but high above, the sky remains untouched. You are the sky, not the storm. The greatest mastery isn't controlling the world, it's mastering your perception of it. And here's the marvel. When you stop reacting, you start shaping reality itself. People sense your unshakable presence. They can't unsettle you, manipulate you, or drain your peace because now you hold your own energy. So how do you embody this untouchable presence? The path to unshakable awareness. It starts with a fundamental shift, realizing you never truly react to the world, but to your mind's interpretation of it. Think about it. Two people encounter the same sly, a bump in the street. One shrugs it off. The other nurses a grudge for hours. The event is identical. The difference lies in perception. Jung's shadow self, the parts we deny and suppress, holds the key. Why do certain words wound us? Because they awaken what we have yet to embrace within. Becoming unshakable doesn't mean denying feelings. It means acknowledging them and stripping them of their power. Instead of resisting triggers, investigate them. Instead of blaming others, ask yourself, what part of me is being revealed here? Imagine life as a chess game. Most play as pawns, reacting to every move. True mastery is becoming the player who sees the whole board, and better yet, the observer watching from above, anticipating every move. This is emotional detachment, not apathy, but wisdom. Not ignorance, but insight. You understand your emotions so deeply, they no longer command you. You watch without being ensnared. And here's the extraordinary truth. Once you cease reacting, the world begins to respond to you. Your energy shifts. You no longer chase approval. People seek your approval. Negativity loses its hold. You step from puppet to puppeteer. The secret is real-time self-awareness. Every moment presents two choices: react unconsciously or observe consciously. The next time provoked, pause. Notice the stir of emotion. Instead of reacting, observe with curiosity. A detached scientist watching a fascinating experiment. That moment is your power. If this exploration has stirred something within you, share your thoughts in the comments, or simply your presence. Thank you for walking this path with us today. If this journey has stirred something within you, reflection, awareness, even clarity, know that you are not alone. Until next time, take care of your energy and honor your intuition.